If you watch carefully, you will notice something strange. The women who receive the most respect are not always the loudest, the most beautiful, or the ones trying the hardest. They are often the calmest. They do not chase attention, yet attention follows them. They do not beg for love, yet people fear losing them. Most people believe attraction begins with appearance, but power begins in the mind. The moment you understand this, you stop trying to impress the world, and the world starts paying attention to you. This is not about tricks or manipulation. It is about quiet confidence, emotional control, and the kind of inner strength that cannot be borrowed from makeup, money, or praise. Machiavelli understood that people naturally notice those who seem complete, without needing constant approval. Today, you will discover 13 confident mindsets that make a woman difficult to ignore, because they are rooted in self-respect rather than manipulation. The first mindset changes everything. The first mindset is this: she does not beg for attention. Most people make a dangerous mistake. They believe attention is proof of value. They post more, talk more, explain more, and worry more, hoping someone will finally notice them. But the harder they chase attention, the less valuable they appear. A confident woman understands that attention is temporary, but respect lasts much longer. She never measures her worth by how many people text her, compliment her, or approve of her choices. She knows that approval given by strangers can disappear overnight. Real confidence comes from keeping promises to yourself, not from collecting praise. When she enters a room, she is not secretly asking everyone to validate her. She simply exists without trying to perform. Ironically, this calm attitude makes people curious. Humans naturally notice what does not desperately seek to be noticed. This is why silence often speaks louder than endless words. The person who looks comfortable alone sends a powerful message without saying anything. They quietly announce that their happiness does not depend on anyone else's permission. This mindset also protects emotional peace. When someone ignores her message, she does not immediately create stories in her head. She does not assume she has failed. She understands that people have their own lives, their own struggles, and their own priorities. Instead of chasing explanations, she returns to her own goals. She protects her energy because she knows wasted attention is a hidden cost that many people never calculate. Every minute spent begging someone to notice you is a minute stolen from building your own future. Machiavelli believed that people respect strength more than desperation. Modern life proves this lesson every single day. Calm confidence attracts respect because it shows emotional independence. The second mindset is that she chooses herself before she chooses approval. This idea often gets misunderstood. Choosing yourself does not mean becoming selfish or cruel. It means refusing to abandon your values just to make someone comfortable. Many people slowly lose their identity because they fear rejection. They agree with opinions they secretly dislike. They laugh at jokes that hurt them. They remain silent when they should speak. They slowly trade authenticity for acceptance. At first, this seems harmless, but after months or years, they no longer recognize themselves. A confident woman refuses this trade. She knows that temporary approval is never worth permanent self-betrayal. She can listen with kindness while still protecting her boundaries. She understands that saying no today often protects tomorrow's peace. Every time she respects herself, her confidence grows stronger because she proves that her own voice matters. People often think confidence appears suddenly. They imagine one magical morning when fear disappears forever. Reality is much quieter. Confidence grows every time you make one difficult decision that matches your values. It grows when you leave unhealthy situations. It grows when you stop apologizing for existing. It grows when you stop shrinking yourself to make insecure people comfortable. These small victories slowly create a personality that feels stable from the inside. Others notice this stability immediately because emotional consistency is surprisingly rare. Most people change their personality depending on who enters the room. A confident woman remains herself, whether people applaud or criticize her. The third mindset is emotional discipline. This may be the rarest form of strength in today's world. Anyone can react. Anyone can become angry after an insult. Anyone can send an emotional message at midnight. But very few people can pause before responding. That pause changes everything. Emotional discipline is not the absence of feeling. It is the ability to decide which feelings deserve action. Imagine two women receiving the same criticism. One instantly argues, attacks, and tries to prove herself right. The other listens carefully, decides whether the criticism contains truth, and responds only if necessary. Which one appears stronger? Usually, the second. Not because she never feels hurt, but because she refuses to let temporary emotions control permanent decisions. Machiavelli observed that people often reveal their weaknesses during emotional moments. Anger exposes hidden fears. Desperation exposes dependence. Jealousy exposes insecurity. A disciplined mind protects itself by slowing down. This is why calm people often seem powerful, even without speaking loudly. Their emotions work for them instead of against them. They understand that every reaction sends information. When you react to every insult, you teach people exactly how to control your emotions. When you remain calm, you become much harder to predict. Predictability gives away power. Self-control protects it. The fourth mindset is that she invests in herself before expecting the world to invest in her. Many people wait for confidence to appear before improving their lives. They tell themselves they will exercise after feeling motivated. They will learn new skills after someone believes in them. They will dress better after becoming successful. A confident woman reverses this order. She acts first. She studies because knowledge belongs to her forever. She protects her health because her body carries every dream she will ever have. She learns communication because words shape opportunities. She saves money because independence creates choices. None of these actions require permission. They require discipline. This investment is invisible at first. Nobody applauds the early mornings, the quiet reading, the difficult practice sessions, or the lonely decisions. But over time, invisible effort becomes visible confidence. The woman who consistently improves herself walks differently because she has evidence that she can overcome discomfort. Her confidence is not based on fantasy. It is built from repeated action. That is why setbacks do not destroy her. She has already survived many small challenges that strengthened her character. Every difficult experience became another brick in the foundation of her identity. Most people search for shortcuts because shortcuts promise fast results. Machiavelli understood that lasting influence rarely comes from shortcuts. It comes from preparation. When opportunity finally arrives, prepared people appear lucky. Others never see the years of quiet work hidden behind that moment. Confidence follows the same rule. It is earned privately before it is recognized publicly. The fifth mindset may surprise you. She is comfortable walking away. This does not mean she leaves every disagreement or every difficult relationship. It means she understands that self-respect sometimes requires distance. Too many people stay where they are constantly disrespected because they fear loneliness more than unhappiness. But loneliness is temporary. Living without self-respect damages something much deeper. A confident woman knows that every decision teaches others how to treat her. When she accepts repeated disrespect without limits, she silently tells people that her boundaries do not matter. When she calmly walks away from unhealthy situations, she sends a different message. She values peace more than chaos, and dignity more than empty promises. This mindset is not driven by pride. It is driven by clarity. She understands that not every battle deserves her energy, not every argument deserves her voice, and not every relationship deserves unlimited access to her life. The strongest people are often those who know exactly when to stay and when to leave. That quiet wisdom becomes one of the most powerful forms of confidence a person can develop. In the next part, we will explore the next mindsets, including why mystery often creates more respect than constant explanation, why emotional independence changes every relationship, and why the calmest person in the room usually holds the greatest power. The sixth mindset is that she does not explain every decision. Many people feel uncomfortable when others misunderstand them. They rush to defend every action, justify every choice, and convince everyone that they are a good person. At first, this seems reasonable. After all, who wants to be judged unfairly? But there is a hidden danger. The more you feel forced to explain yourself to everyone, the more control you hand over to their opinions. A confident woman understands that not every misunderstanding deserves correction. She knows that people often see the world through their own experiences, fears, and expectations. Even the clearest explanation cannot change someone who has already decided what to believe. Instead of exhausting herself trying to control every opinion, she lets her actions speak over time. Quiet consistency always carries more weight than endless explanations. This does not mean she becomes cold or secretive. It simply means she knows the difference between healthy communication and unnecessary approval-seeking. There is strength in allowing people to think what they want, while you continue building the life you have chosen. History repeatedly shows that those who constantly defend themselves often appear uncertain, while those who remain calm during criticism seem grounded. This is because confidence rarely needs to shout. It trusts that truth has patience. A person with strong character understands that time often reveals reality better than arguments ever could. When someone spreads rumors, she does not allow panic to control her behavior. When someone doubts her ability, she does not stop working just to prove them wrong. She stays focused because she knows success is the strongest reply available. Every unnecessary explanation steals time from meaningful progress. Every unnecessary argument drains emotional energy that could have been invested elsewhere. She chooses progress over proving herself. The seventh mindset is emotional independence. This may be one of the most attractive forms of confidence because it creates freedom rather than pressure. Emotional independence does not mean refusing love or pushing people away. It means understanding that another person can add happiness to your life without becoming the source of your identity. Many relationships become unhealthy because one person quietly expects the other to fill every emotional gap. They expect constant reassurance, endless attention, and perfect understanding. No human being can carry that responsibility forever. A confident woman enjoys closeness, but she also protects her own inner stability. She has hobbies that exist outside the relationship. She has goals that continue whether someone stays or leaves. She has friendships, passions, and dreams that remind her she is a complete person before becoming anyone's partner. This independence creates a healthier connection because it removes unnecessary pressure. When someone knows you are choosing to be with them, rather than needing them to survive emotionally, the relationship becomes based on respect instead of fear. There is no desperate need to control the other person, because confidence removes the constant fear of abandonment. Machiavelli observed that dependence often creates vulnerability. Modern psychology reaches a similar conclusion in different words. The stronger your emotional foundation becomes, the less likely you are to make decisions driven purely by panic. You begin responding with clarity instead of reacting from fear. This changes every conversation, every disagreement, and every challenge life places in front of you. The eighth mindset is patience. In a world that rewards speed, patience has quietly become a rare advantage. Most people want immediate results. They want instant attraction, instant success, instant healing, and instant recognition. When these things do not arrive quickly, frustration takes over. A confident woman understands that meaningful results often require far more time than emotions would prefer. She does not abandon her standards because one lonely week feels uncomfortable. She does not quit learning because improvement feels slow. She does not judge her future based on one difficult season. She understands that the strongest trees grow slowly, yet they survive storms that destroy weaker ones. Patience also changes the way she handles people. She does not rush to label someone as wonderful after one good conversation. She also does not assume someone is terrible because of one mistake. She watches patterns instead of moments. Patterns reveal character far better than isolated events. This protects her from becoming easily manipulated by temporary charm or emotional excitement. While many people become distracted by appearances, she quietly observes behavior over time. Consistency always matters more than promises. Words are easy. Habits reveal the truth. There is another hidden benefit to patience. It reduces emotional mistakes. Many regrets happen because people act during moments of intense emotion. They quit jobs they should have planned to leave. They send messages they later wish they had deleted. They make promises they cannot keep. Patience creates space between feeling and action. Inside that space, wisdom has room to grow. The woman who can wait until emotions settle often makes better decisions than the person who always acts immediately. The ninth mindset is selective trust. Trust is valuable because it allows relationships to grow, but confidence understands that trust should be built, not handed out carelessly. Some people believe kindness requires trusting everyone immediately. Others believe strength requires trusting nobody. Both extremes create problems. A confident woman chooses a balanced path. She begins with respect, but she allows trust to grow through repeated actions. She listens carefully. She notices whether words match behavior. She pays attention to how people treat those who cannot benefit them. Character becomes visible in ordinary moments, far more often than dramatic ones. Selective trust protects peace without creating constant suspicion. She does not spend her life expecting betrayal from everyone she meets. That would only create loneliness and fear. Instead, she allows time to reveal people's intentions. This approach prevents unnecessary disappointment because she understands that promises cost nothing. Integrity is measured through consistency. Machiavelli often warned that appearances can deceive. The lesson remains useful today, not because we should become cynical, but because careful observation prevents avoidable mistakes. Wisdom grows when emotion and evidence work together, instead of competing against each other. The 10th mindset is quiet standards. Many people announce their standards loudly. They constantly tell the world what they deserve, what they will never tolerate, and how valuable they are. Ironically, repeating these claims too often can create the opposite impression. A confident woman rarely needs to advertise her standards because her choices already reveal them. She does not chase people who repeatedly ignore her. She does not remain in environments that damage her peace. She does not constantly threaten to leave unhealthy situations. She simply leaves when necessary. Her behavior quietly communicates what words never could. Standards become powerful only when they are supported by action. Anyone can say they value honesty. Real confidence appears when honesty remains important, even during uncomfortable conversations. Anyone can claim they respect themselves. True self-respect becomes visible when difficult decisions require sacrifice. This consistency earns admiration because people naturally trust actions more than speeches. Every decision becomes a reflection of identity. Over time, identity shapes reputation. Reputation influences opportunities. Everything begins with small daily choices that most people never notice. One of the greatest misunderstandings about confidence is the belief that it is something people are born with. In reality, every mindset you have heard so far is built through repeated practice. No one wakes up emotionally disciplined overnight. No one instantly stops seeking approval after years of depending on it. Growth happens one decision at a time. Every moment you choose calm over panic, patience over impulse, and self-respect over temporary comfort, you strengthen the habits that eventually become confidence itself. The 11th mindset is humility without weakness. Many people confuse confidence with arrogance because they look similar from a distance. Both can appear calm. Both can appear fearless. But underneath, they are completely different. Arrogance depends on feeling superior to others. Confidence depends on feeling secure within yourself. An arrogant person constantly needs to win every conversation because losing feels like losing value. A confident woman does not carry that burden. She can admit when she is wrong without feeling smaller. She can learn from someone younger without feeling threatened. She can celebrate another person's success without believing it steals from her own. This quiet humility creates a rare kind of strength because it removes the endless competition that fills so many lives. Machiavelli understood that pride often blinds people. Those who believe they already know everything stop observing. They stop learning. They stop adapting. Eventually, reality humbles them in ways they never expected. A wise person avoids this trap by remaining curious. Confidence says, I know my value. Humility adds, there is still more for me to learn. Together, these qualities create resilience. Instead of breaking when life exposes a weakness, she improves it. Instead of hiding mistakes, she studies them. Failure becomes a teacher instead of an enemy. Every lesson adds another layer of quiet confidence, because experience replaces illusion. Humility also changes the way people feel around her. They do not feel constantly judged or challenged. They feel respected. They feel heard. Strong people rarely need to make others feel small. They understand that lifting someone else does not reduce their own worth. This creates trust, and trust is often more powerful than admiration. Admiration can disappear quickly. Trust is earned slowly and lasts much longer. The strongest presence in a room is often the person who listens carefully before speaking, because their words carry the weight of thought rather than impulse. The 12th mindset is living with purpose instead of chasing attention. Modern life constantly encourages distraction. Every notification, every trend, and every opinion competes for your focus. It becomes easy to spend years reacting instead of building. A confident woman protects her attention because she understands that attention is one of the most valuable resources she owns. Where attention goes, life follows. If every day is spent worrying about other people's opinions, there is little energy left for personal growth. Purpose changes this completely. Instead of waking up wondering who noticed her yesterday, she wakes up asking what she can build today. Her goals become larger than temporary praise. Purpose creates stability during difficult times. Imagine two people facing criticism. One has built her identity around public approval. The other has built her identity around meaningful work. When criticism arrives, the first person feels lost because approval was her foundation. The second person listens, learns if necessary, and returns to her mission. She understands that every worthwhile goal attracts disagreement. Trying to please everyone usually leads to achieving very little. Purpose acts like a compass. Storms may slow the journey, but they do not change the direction. People naturally respect someone who knows where they are going. It is not because they always succeed. It is because direction creates certainty. Even difficult days become easier to survive when they serve a meaningful objective. This is why purpose often creates confidence faster than compliments ever can. Compliments fade. Achievement remains. Approval depends on other people. Purpose belongs to you. The woman who invests in her purpose becomes difficult to distract because she understands the cost of wasted time. Every unnecessary argument, every unhealthy comparison, and every search for validation steals hours that could have been spent building a better future. Purpose also protects emotional balance inside relationships. When two people each have meaningful lives of their own, they bring energy into the relationship instead of demanding it from each other. They support one another's growth rather than expecting one person to carry all the responsibility for happiness. This creates respect because both individuals continue developing instead of becoming emotionally dependent. Confidence grows naturally in an environment where personal growth never stops. Now we arrive at the 13th and final mindset. She is completely comfortable with not being liked by everyone. This lesson is simple to hear, but difficult to live. Most people secretly hope that if they are kind enough, careful enough, and agreeable enough, everyone will appreciate them. Reality never works that way. Every successful person has critics. Every honest person disappoints someone. Every meaningful decision closes one door while opening another. Trying to avoid all criticism is like trying to stop the wind. The effort never ends, and the result never changes. A confident woman understands that being respected matters more than being universally liked. Respect grows through integrity, consistency, and courage. Popularity often depends on changing yourself to match whatever people expect today. But expectations constantly change. If your identity changes with every opinion, you eventually lose sight of who you are. She refuses to pay that price. She remains polite. She remains respectful. But she does not abandon her principles simply because someone disapproves. This quiet independence creates a calm confidence that cannot easily be shaken. There is another reason this mindset is so powerful. Fear of rejection often controls people without them realizing it. It influences the careers they choose, the relationships they stay in, the opinions they hide, and the dreams they never pursue. The moment you stop expecting universal approval, many invisible chains disappear. You become free to speak honestly with kindness. You become free to leave situations that damage your peace. You become free to pursue goals that matter to you, instead of goals designed to impress strangers. That freedom changes the way you carry yourself. People notice it because genuine confidence always begins inside, before it becomes visible outside. Machiavelli often explored the realities of human nature, but one lesson continues to stand out today. Power is never only about influence over others. Lasting power begins with influence over yourself. If your emotions can be controlled by every opinion, every compliment, or every criticism, then someone else holds the keys to your peace. But when your values guide your actions more than temporary emotions, you become difficult to shake. That is not manipulation. That is self-mastery. Think back to the 13 mindsets. Not chasing attention. Choosing self-respect over approval. Practicing emotional discipline. Investing in yourself. Walking away from repeated disrespect. Letting actions speak louder than endless explanations. Building emotional independence. Developing patience. Trusting wisely. Living by quiet standards. Remaining humble while continuing to learn. Following purpose instead of applause. And finally, accepting that not everyone will like you. None of these habits require perfect circumstances. None depend on luck. They are built one decision at a time. The world often celebrates confidence that is loud, dramatic, and impossible to ignore. Yet the strongest confidence is usually much quieter. It appears in the woman who keeps her promises when no one is watching. It appears in the woman who remains calm during criticism, instead of becoming defensive. It appears in the woman who values peace over proving a point. It appears in the woman who continues growing even after success arrives. That confidence cannot be borrowed from fashion, status, or popularity because it comes from character. Character survives when everything else changes. Remember this whenever you begin doubting yourself. The goal is not to become someone everyone admires. The goal is to become someone you can respect every single day. Approval comes and goes. Trends come and go. Opinions change with time. But the relationship you have with yourself follows you everywhere. Protect it. Strengthen it. Build it patiently. Because when confidence is rooted in self-respect, purpose, and emotional discipline, it no longer depends on who is watching. It becomes a permanent part of who you are. And that quiet strength is the kind that leaves the deepest impression long after words have faded. If this video gave you a new way to think, don't keep it to yourself. Like this video, subscribe for more timeless wisdom inspired by Machiavelli, and share it with someone who needs to hear it. Leave a comment below with the mindset that changed your perspective the most. Until next time, stay calm, stay strategic, and keep mastering yourself.